guy. He's like 33, and he's just like middle of his. Are you prepared? Is the world prepared?
I don't know if the world is prepared yet, because that is it. We are live, and that was the first thing. Is the world prepared?
Is the world prepared for this game that's going to be going on? Come on.
Yeah, is the
Gotta get
world
some hype going.
Is the world prepared for Trent versus UoN? Is the world prepared for VARSITY DOTA? I think the answer is no. I think it's going to be
High stakes going on.
Yeah, it's going to be wild. It's going to be absolutely wild.
And as you were saying, we got 2 stand-ins on the Trent side.
Yeah, and apparently there's also a stand-in on the UoN side as well.
So it's going to be some maybe not so many polished plays today, but a lot of raw skill coming out.
This is it. It means that there's plenty of chance for mistakes, and mistakes is plenty of chance for cool things to happen.
Yeah. So, what are your feelings on Dota at the moment? I mean, there are a few updates. Obviously, Mars won't be in the game tonight, but a few of the most recent updates will be weighing heavily on the match.
Yeah, I think I don't know what it is about like NSE specifically, but I think it's sometimes a little bit slow to adapt meta-wise. Like the last 2 weeks, I know that they're still quite strong, but obviously there was a focus on nerfing some of the fast strength heroes, like because they when they added all the move speed to the strength heroes, it made some of them really broken.
For sure, I've had so many really difficult games lately where I've been up against stuff like Earth Shakers, and they're just so flipping fast. I remember saying to, I think it was it might have even been you, to the guys when just before the patch came out, that the big weakness of a lot of these strength heroes was the massive lack of speed. If you picked a Sven or an Ursa or something like that, the way you outdrafted that was to control it. Ursa can break out of stuns and things like that, so you focus more on AoE slows. You go for the Underlords that can physically trap them in place. You get ranged cores that can do DPS, or just cores that are faster and can kite that kind of damage. But then suddenly they come out and they've all got 380 movement speed, like out of the gate, and you're just shitting yourself because it's all over the place.
You're immediately ran down. Just an Ursa just appears next to you, and you try running away, and he's like, "Where do you think you're going?"
They're like as fast as like Luna, and that's dumb. That is just dumb. I mean, they're an agility hero. They're supposed to be able to, no matter what the terrain is, hardcore parkour. Whereas a strength hero, yeah, they might be strong. They might be able to run fast in a straight line, but these battlefields aren't flat. I mean, in the world of the lore, obviously they are in the actual game, but it makes more sense, at least to me, for agi heroes to be able to move quicker, because that's kind of their thing. If you take that away from them,
yeah, it's a bit unfair, really. A bit unfair.
I think Purge goes on a lot in his tutorials, which I was listening to. Well, because I wasn't able to play when I was in Canada, I was raging about all that. So I was looking into like, all right, when I get back, I'm gonna make sure my mind's in the right place. So one thing Purge talks a lot about is the 3 factors that make a hero strong, which is damage, sustain, and speed, because they all equally control how powerful a hero is. If you're losing on damage and sustainability, your answer is pick a ranged hero and kite them. Do the old marine step on a StarCraft. Do the stutter step, and there are ways to play around it using these different mechanics. Yeah, and it really kind of nullifies that with the strength increase. So I'm glad to see they're balancing it out a bit.
Yeah, they are slowly sort of trying to push it back down towards where, like I say, agi here have that speed advantage. Did just have it confirmed we are 100% in the lobby this time. So when people watch the game back, they'll be able to hear us as well. So
wow,
we're in.
Pressure's on.
This is it. It's a so not only is it a big week because it's UoN versus Trent, it's a big week because I've updated all my overlays. It's a big week because the follow and sub animations are all changed, so we've got those customized now. It's a big week because we've got plenty of people in the chat. We've got Maury back. Maury's back. Steve's back. Yeah. Steve hasn't been back for a couple of weeks.
Hey.
Sam's watching. We've got people in here. This is the one.
Yeah, people want to see how Trent does. I mean, come on.
I've even bought a new chair.
A new chair, man.
Yeah. That's how
spending all that hard-earned Twitch money, are you?
Oh, well,
straight out there. Get 50p and you're straight out there, spend it.
That's a perfect chance for me to remind people that all the Twitch money is going to Stonebridge City Farm. So link underneath. So if you click down there, you can see pictures of animals, which is incredible. 2, you can see the farm that any money that comes in from Twitch is going to be it's all going to be donated to, basically, because the farm needs money to stay open after winter because winter kicked the farm's ass. So they need money to stay open, and I'm going to try and give them some. So
that's awesome. I'm looking at it now, and it looks like a really, really good cause.
Oh, it's just such a nice farm, and not only that, they do guinea pig boarding as well. So,
oh man,
if I need to go on holiday and I need to somewhere reliable I can leave my guinea pigs, I've either got to ask a friend to come round, which they're really good for doing that, but it's a bit inconvenient for them, or take them over there. So it is almost slightly personal for me. So
yeah. No, I can totally understand that.
So,
oh man.
So Mill 24, it is the challenger bracket. So there's 2 brackets I think this season. So the champion bracket is the one that's the top 16 cut. The challenger bracket, this is the 12 teams that were outside that top 16 cut, plus 12 teams that dropped out in the first round of the champion bracket. So this week it's Trent versus UoN. This is in the challenger bracket. So the second tier bracket.
Yeah, so they're pretty well ranked. I mean, it's all good to say, oh, they're not in the top top bracket and this, that, and the other, but UK Dota is really, really fragile at the moment, and you find a massive differentiation, and you find the majority of them are competing for the challenger bracket spaces. So Trent being right in there is phenomenal.
Yeah, we're down to top 24, top 24 UK uni Dota teams in the country, for real.
Wow.
So
man,
it's big stuff.
Big stuff. Yeah.
Right.
What have they given you any insider knowledge on their picks, their drafts, anything like that yet?
Nothing yet. I haven't had anything yet. I haven't even seen what Trent have been playing. So
we'll be going in blind, eh?
yeah, and got.
Apparently, I need to be turned up slightly. I'm just going to bump myself.
Yep, no worries.
Alright. Hopefully, I am the right toggle broadcast channel. Do you want to set up a broadcast channel?
Yep.
Because you'll know what to name it. Oh, so. I mean, they are. You said they're not running Chris today, so I wonder if that's going to cause them to step away from the traditional, the traditional roaming pick that's usually allocated to Chris's slot on Trent. The kind of clockwork. I mean, I was going to say Mirana and Chen kind of position, but obviously he's not a big fan of that kind of thing.
He's the he's the very angry, very aggressive hero on Trent normally. So
the space cow. If they were to be equated to Dota heroes, they would be the Spirit Breaker, charging in no matter what the team thinks, just getting right in there.
Oh, apparently it's quite a bit of varsity tonight because Sheffield, UoN of Sheffield versus Sheffield Hallam as well. So varsity all over the place. It's a big night for Dota tonight. Big
night for Nottingham.
Yeah.
The end of this night, one team's going to be out reaping the glory, all the pubs, drinking away, to their celebration, and then the rest, they're just going to be like the rest of us, alone by their computers.
Sad. Probably still playing Dota.
Single tier, all that.
I'm gonna jump in the broadcast channel, Gary.
Yeah, sorry. Yep.
No worries. Cool.
Ooh, I think I'm registered as camera.
All right.
I don't know if you can grab that off me. I don't know how it works.
Oh no.
Oh no, I'm now flagged. Okay, you need to push the.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So, I am the camera.
I am very, very knowledgeable on the casting channels. I clearly understand all about it. Know what that button does.
Hey, it's not often.
Problem.
It's not often we actually get to be in the lobby. So.
Yeah, no. A lot of the time it's post, but we still do our best anyway, or at least you do.
we both do our best.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's pretty hype as well. Maury's just saying, "Oh, really weird. Both of my unis are playing against both my boyfriend's unis."
Wow, that is some serious coincidence.
Yeah, that's absolutely mad.
What this is it's ultimately just a fight for Maury. It all breaks down to. I take it back. They're not going to be out celebrating. The losers aren't going to be at home on the computer. It's all a fight for Maury.
The winner of both the Sheffield teams and both the Nottingham teams will play a decider afterwards.
To high five Maury.
Yeah. Oh, and they're already
because
talking.
High fiving is the most intimate. Yeah.
Of course it is, Gary. That is the most intimate thing you can do with someone else. High five them.
High five them. You gotta keep it PG, man. Gotta keep it tasteful. A bit of ankle, nothing more. Tasteful. So, what do we know about the UoN of?
So, UoN of, I know that they happen to have dropped from the champion bracket. So they were in the top 12 or top 24, and have dropped down into this challenge bracket. So they finished. I think I can bring it up because I actually did find, and this is rare for me to have actually done something even vaguely organised, but I did actually get to see some of the standings. Here we go, week 1 standings.
Awesome.
So, okay. So this only includes the teams that weren't in the champion bracket. It doesn't actually include doesn't go down. So the teams that were in the champion bracket aren't included. This is only stuff after the champion bracket.
All right.
This is outside the top 16 teams. So, out of the top 12 that qualified for this challenger bracket, Trent were in 10th bracket. So
we've lost the team.
Have we?
Sorry to interject. Trent has left the building.
Trent have just dropped straight out.
Well, that was a good game, guys. Thank you for showing up. As Stu said, donations to Stonebridge City Farm.
Yep.
Sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, back to what you're doing. Sorry.
No, it's alright. No, so yeah, Trent finished. So basically, they had to have a cut off. So it was the top 12 teams. There were 12 teams that finished with 6 wins. The top four of that finished with 7 wins. So that's
a hard oof there.
Yeah, that is a hard oof. And then there were 12 teams, sorry, that finished with 6 wins, and it was done on like your win percentage against decent or against teams that who they played and where they finished. So it's percentage based, and the range went from 83% down to the lowest team finished on 54. So Trent had 72, so somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, that's that's as you said. I mean, that's still upper middle. That's nothing to be ashamed of. And you said that University of was sitting a bit higher than that.
Yeah, so Uni of was sitting in the upper tier of.
So they're even above that bracketing.
Yeah, and they've dropped down as they lost in the first week previously. So,
but they have some good players on Trent. I mean, I've personally played with Acronym and Mithrandir. I mean, I played with most of them, but those two stand out as pretty freaking good at their role.
Oh god, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they are standout players on the team. Unfortunately, I'm clicking on all the heroes and I'm trying to find out their MMR, their ranking, but Dota doesn't seem to want to agree with me, so I'm just gonna have to guess.
Yeah, it's not showing me any ranks either.
Yeah, so Fash probably Crusader,
Yeah, I imagine
Crusader. Yeah, Milky G, maybe give him an ancient. So it's Zarlok, Herald. Yeah, that.
I do know that Zarlok is high ancient. Fashi's Crusader. They're even saying, Fashi's Crusader.
Get right in there. Yeah.
He's Crusader. I'm Herald -1.
Sweet. And we're in.
Yeah, looks like they're going for it. Oh, and
it kicked me straight out. Sweet. Ooh, who lost? Who dropped? That is Mithrandir dropped. Let me just check.
John have my babies.
Ooh, we are not in the broadcast channel. Or are we?
I am not sure what's happening.
I don't know. As I said before, we are extremely practiced at this. This is going exactly how we expected it to.
Yes, it's not often we get into the lobby. It might have been easier if we were just watching from outside.
Maybe this is part of it. Maybe we've been kicked out. There we go. Mithrandir's back, and he's back into Trent. Looking at a bit of a coup going on there,
Oh, did he crash just before the game started? That's why it kicked. Okay.
Sweet. Hopefully it'll resolve and we'll still be casting the game.
Should do. Oh, my Dota has copped a strop, but it's called the Dota Plus overlay over the top. Won't load because the game didn't actually start.
Well, at the moment they haven't jumped back into the game. It's resting at after the coin toss. Uni of is running Radiant, and Trent has got second pick. So from the coin toss, Uni of is coming out ahead, but we'll see how that translates later on into the drafting stage. Drafting game. What kind of bans do you think we can be seeing at the moment?
Well, if Uni of have done their homework, I perhaps don't want to. I don't want to give away anything in case there are any Uni of players in there. Of course,
yeah.
No, we'll wait until we're in the draft.
Yeah, leave it till they stop listening. Sneaky buggers, sneaky blighters.
See, when we've got into the actual game, we'll.
Yeah, we'll give our opinions. But no, it looks like it's going to be a good game, as you said. High stakes, high intensity, because a lot of these people, I would assume, know each other, at least at some level.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that these guys have played each other before. So, but I think it might have only been IX Mike who was in the team the last time Trent played them. I think that finished 2-1 Uni of, so that was a close game. I still can't fix my my Dota Plus overlay over the top.
Yep.
I won't give up yet.
I am very sorry. As I said, know all the hotkeys, all the buttons. We know exactly how to fix that. I'm sure it'll. Maybe someone in chat help. Otherwise, this will be becoming an audio stream.
I have broken my overlay. Will I be judging cosmetic choices on stream? I will be. Yeah.
Maybe it's worth restarting Dota whilst they're in the banning phase.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea actually. Will I be able to get back in?
Yes, because you're still connected.
Oh right, yeah, of course I should be able to reconnect. Yeah.
So the first bans coming out are from UniOf. We've got Bounty Hunter. They're onto their second ban now, and Trent bans Kunkka. UniOf banning Viper second pick. Viper is seriously powerful at the moment with the stun break spit. It is disgusting. Trent picking up an Oracle as their second ban. So they're Trent seeming to be very scared of these kind of survivability team fight extender heroes. So the Oracle, obviously, you could get a PA or any big high DPS hero, dump the false promise on them and just let them go ham. Similar thing with Kunkka, the ghost ship, the rum effect from the ghost ship, massively reducing damage, having a massive impact, knock-on impact onto the team fight. As I said, team fight extenders more than actual team fight composers.
Yeah, last week I watched obviously both Trent games. And they played against Oracle twice, and both times it was weird seeing how they dealt with it.
UniOf banning Pangolier, Trent banning the CK, and immediate first pick of Crystal Maiden for UniOf. So it's a really stable support. Tends to be a bit squishy, but it's a good generic support to pick. It tends to imply that they're going to be going for a more mana-intensive draft. Heroes, strength heroes in the off lane, stuff like Bristleback and things like that tend to make best use of Crystal Maiden. Yeah,
I was going to say Crystal Maiden definitely opens up the chance for a Bristleback pick.
Team pick.
Along with a few others. Ooh, AA. I wonder if that's going to be a mid AA. And I wonder if they're using that to counter pick potential, again, extenders of the fight. Great versus any hero which just doesn't die.
Well, I mean, you were saying earlier when we were talking about it, what makes three heroes strong, and I suppose if you want to break a team, then break one of those things. Now AA breaks sustain. If you've got a lot of sustain on a hero, and AA just says, well, okay, there goes your sustain, deal with it, you're immediately a weaker hero. Yeah.
Absolutely, you can change your fight, and the Earthshaker to go with it. That makes a massive wombo combo out of the bat.
Yeah, I mean,
if I was playing on that against that, I would now be looking on UniOf to try and find some counter initiation heroes. Try and get some save heroes. So stuff like a Tide, which can, after they've initiated with their big abilities, you've got the Echo Slam, you've got the AA ulti, you can then jump in, ravage, turn the tide of the fight. It's the same kind of idea you get with Naga Song and stuff like that. The fact that you're going to turn the fight in your favor.
I was going to say, I think a Naga could be a genuine option to deal with that big initiation.
Sure. Yeah. Other choices are big, strong heroes who can frontline, and you give them items like Radiance and things like that, which will then reduce the position, reduce the options for heroes like the Earthshaker and the AA to get good ultis off. The Leshrac, that's one of those heroes that kind of does it. It's not a strength hero as such, but it radiates a lot of damage and can really control the field. You can
throw some AoE damage out and try and, maybe you can cancel blinks on the Earthshaker, or just get in people's faces.
Yeah, second phase, banning the Nyx. I wonder if
I'm guessing
that's pretty sloppy. I imagine they're going to pick an OD. If I saw that, I would immediately ban OD.
Well, I'm perhaps wondering if the fact that they've already got two strength in heroes means that they are concerned about the Nyx.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, Nyx is super good versus int heroes, especially good versus heroes like CM, who don't have any way of really saving themselves. Same with Leshrac. It's a weird one. You need to protect your Leshrac if you're running him. Your Disco Pony can't party by himself. He's got to have some entourage. Waiting on the second ban.
Just looking in the Raptor attack chat. Greg is implying that you're wearing a shirt and tie, Gary.
Am I? I'm actually wearing fleece pajamas at the moment. Sitting cross-legged on my my computer seat. I haven't even shaved. It's a right state.
Wonder if I abuse Gary enough, I'll get banned.
I saw that one. Do I want to validate him by saying it?
No, I can't even see Greg commenting. So if he's been abusing you, I haven't even noticed. Oh, is he Valvey? I don't. Gary is very boring.
Wow.
I'm not really sure.
Wow. I'm hurt.
This is personal. It's very personal.
I'm so hurt. The Cottle coming out, as I said, it's one of those very good counter initiation heroes. So it makes a lot of sense for Trent to do it. It's a low investment hero, so you can bung it on a support, and it does everything you need your support to do. It can make team fighting later fantastically easy, and with its new ultimate, it makes it so much easier to counter initiate because it's got such a long range and it has such a big impact on the fight.
I can't say I've seen an anti-mage certainly in any of these, like the tournament games, for quite a while.
He got quite good with the changes to items, with stuff like Midas coming very, very prevalent. The attack speed bonus from that being ridiculous made heroes, traditional farming heroes much better. But in the last update, they reduced those values, so you're not seeing Midas spammed on every hero like you were last patch. Shaman, great hero to lock down the AM. Two sets of control. Got to watch out for the shield though. You could end up hexing yourself, which would be awful.
Is this going to be a mid Leshrac, and are the Pugna to go against whatever they do run mid? So
yeah. I'm looking at the moment, and I'm not sure what they can do versus an anti-mage at the moment. There isn't much. Obviously they have the catch from Shadow Shaman, they have the catch from CM, but this anti-mage will be, he'll be good. He'll be on point with his mana shields, his magic shields. He shouldn't be caught by a hex or something like that. So I'm wondering what they really have to lock them down. The only negative I see to Trent's draft is if the enemy picks BKBs, there is nothing they can do. Yeah, Bloodseeker, fantastic way of dealing with anti-mage.
Yeah, and don't want to get themselves run down by that as well, especially when you've got, say, Pugna. Decrepify yourself, you get in a lot of trouble running away from a Bloodseeker. Yeah,
great counter to Pugna, not just because of the Decrepify Rupture, but the Blood Rights, the big AoE damage nuke from Bloodseeker does so much damage early. It's really, really powerful. If you're even adding 60% to that, it's going to be something like a 500, 600 damage nuke, which is ridiculous. But imagine if you put a BKB on that Bloodseeker, go second item BKB, maybe third item BKB, and just run at things. The AA can't hurt you, the Earthshaker can't hurt you, the Pugna can't hurt you, the Anti-Mage probably won't have a Abyssal Blade because you're running you're running a Bloodseeker versus an Anti-Mage.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult one. The only thing I will say is obviously the AA ult is great at stopping the healing from his Q, but even so, when you're in the middle of a fight, you're not really relying on that. You're kind of hoping to get your damage out quickly enough that you don't need to worry about being bursted.
Yeah, he's also a possible Radiance carrier, like I was saying earlier, which is fantastic in this kind of game because it really disrupts what the enemy can do, especially the Earthshaker. I think Trent really need to look into getting a hero to lock down through BKBs, or try and keep their game safe until late game, because those are the in my mind those are the two options. Because if the enemy gets a BKB, you're really going to be struggling. Imagine if you put it on Leshrac. Leshrac walks into the fight, and the only person who can do anything against him is the Anti-Mage, and he can't even use his ulti on him. He's just got to go and old-fashioned punch him down.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a way of dealing with that, the other the normal response is, oh, we'll just go late game. We'll wait until their BKBs are down to 5 seconds. It won't be a problem. But when you're relying on magic damage, and Anti-Mage, who is an extremely good carry, you may find late game not being the best thing for you.
Yeah, you've almost got like certainly the way I'm looking at it at the minute is,
10
and I don't want to
seconds
write off the Pugner, because last time I turned around and said, oh well, Trent have picked a Pugner, I don't think it's the right
5
hero.
seconds
It
remaining.
immediately took the game over and crushed it, and I was
I
completely
love
wrong.
Pugner. Great hero.
But there's this early spike of the magic damage is really strong early. I don't think it quite carries them over into a time when an anti-mage is going to be strong enough to fight all the rest of their heroes.
Yeah, so they either need a bridging hero, an intermediary hero that can transition them into the late game and make sure they're still relevant in the late game,
Radiant team
or
pick.
they need to find a way of dealing with those BKBs early. Or running over the opponent before they can even get their BKBs online. That's an equally valid play. And with a Pugner, their push potential is pretty good. The Earthshaker as well can, despite its traditional uses, it can be used quite well as a pushing hero. You can nuke the enemy creeps, you can block the enemy creeps, you can mess with the creeps enough so that your creeps will be continually attacking tower, which can make a big difference in lane and in the early game.
Uni are going to take their time over this one. I see they've removed the Skywrath. So after banning the Nyx, I was a bit like you said, a bit about it being sloppy. I think that's a bit of an odd one.
Mm-hmm. The Skywrath could be very nasty with the Pugner, and it would stack a lot of damage with the Seal and the Decrepify from the Pugner. I can't remember the actual name of the ability. The ethereal effect.
Yeah, that is Decrepify, yeah.
Oh, okay, sweet. So that and the Ancient Seal from the Skywrath, that would amplify magic damage so much, and they could just blow them up. The Earthshaker could just go in and destroy them. I can see that, but again, that's making it a very, very early game draft, and it's weird for them to run such an early game draft with an anti-mage.
Yeah, I don't think they'd have quite managed to fit that in somehow, unless it was a 3 Earthshaker. But then you're relying on a 5 Skywrath or 5 AA, and that's not. I don't think that's manageable.
Yeah, I like the Underlord ban. Really good hero versus anti-mage. It's also a pretty good counter initiator. Does a ton of damage in the enemy phase. Ooh.
Was that Offlane Razor?
I'm not sure. I feel like Razor can't be run mid versus the Pugner. If the Pugner is mid, the Razor won't be able to last hit unless he's last hitting with his big Ring of Death, which again the names are escaping me.
Yeah, his Q.
It's much easier for Leshrac to last hit in lane using his magic, using his abilities than it is for a Razor.
Yeah, especially when they've reduced the amount of mana that it costs to use the Lightning Strike on the Shrek.
Yeah, I mean, Shaman would even be a better mid laner versus the Pugner than Razor. However, if they run the AA mid, it's a different story completely.
Choose your hero.
Oh. Okay. So really good team fight hero again. They're going for the big wombo combo here. Yeah,
they're a little all in on the wombo combo there. I think that's perhaps not necessarily the best choice, but if they execute it right.
Yeah, it seems to be that they're going to be running a well, I wanted to say a full protect 1, but it's not quite that. They're going to be getting the anti-mage as much as they can for the first 20 minutes of the game. Then they are going to run perpetually as a 4-man at towers, using the Pugner to just destroy towers. The Pugner, the AA Chilling Touch with the Darkseer, they should be able to annihilate towers. And whilst that's going on, the anti-mage will just be split pushing, cutting creeps, doing its best to push out the other lanes and keep the map advantage. So the anti-mage is really going to be the linchpin here on whether or not Trent or Unioff take this game, at least in my opinion.
I'm not quite sure who I fancy in this game at the minute. Don't really know.
Draft-wise, it's a weird one.
Really could go either way. We'll take a little look, and I've been so ready for this. So I'm gonna little flip through the Trent heroes. So Zarlok's going to take that Darkseer into the bot lane, and he's paired up with Mr. Morningwood on this Earthshaker. We've got Acronym taking that Pugner mid again, and hopefully maybe I'm not right, but last time we saw him absolutely take over a game with that. We've got Iron Myth round here. He's going to take this anti-mage top, and then handling the AA, we've got Otto Runner Laryngologist.
So as you called, Razor off lane, Leshrac mid, and safe lane Bloodseeker.
Yeah, so it looks like it's Fash on the Razor. We've got Most Lamberry and the Crystal Maiden top, hiding in the trees away from that AA. We've got Leshrac mid with Mikey G, and we'll see Tasty Pie and IX Mike 88 in the bot with the Bloodseeker. And what is this?
I'm looking at the
Hapless
lane.
Maiden. Oh yeah, Razor going straight in top.
So much damage stealing earlier, plus 50 damage. I mean, Leshrac is doing not Leshrac, AA is doing -1 damage at this point. It's healing his opponents.
The Razor's doing so much damage.
So much damage, so much value.
And they might be able to bring this Earthshaker down. Oh, the uphill miss.
Just trade damage, Razor. You do so much. You could, yeah. Looking at these lanes, this is gonna be very, very, very tricky for.
Oh, I need to top overlay. Sorry. Yeah, there's the top
Trent,
overlay.
this is going to be very difficult. Their safe lane, they're having to run a tri lane because running the AM versus the Razor, the Razor and Shaman is not great. So 2 tri lanes being run top. This is going to be some seriously aggro.
Yeah, trying to try.
I think UniOv just has the better draft here. They've got all ranged heroes. AM shouldn't really be able to last hit at all. You know, comes near the creep wave, gets shackled, gets crystal nova'd, and then gets all his damage sucked. You know, he's really going to struggle for these first 5-10 minutes. And it's a similar story bottom. One of the standard counters to a Darkseer, apart from a ranged hero, is a hero like Bloodseeker, who can just
sustain
he has enough
through.
sustain in lane. He doesn't care about the Iron Shell. He can just tank it, and then he heals all the damage he took by last hitting the creep with the Iron Shell. The only lane which I think is in Trent's favour at the moment is the mid matchup, and even that is by a fine margin.
It depends entirely on how Ackerman does this, but we'll take a quick look at last hits and how's he doing. And at the minute, he's being beaten by the Leshrac, so 5-2 on the Lesh versus 3-1 on the Pugna.
That's
But the wave in towards Pugna now.
Yeah, it's close, but Pugna hasn't had these the creeps haven't equalized, so he should be able to catch up now, unless he misses every last hit. No, they're drawing even now.
Oh yeah, I do need to pick a keyring giveaway.
I've already done it.
When a character does a thing, put something relevant in the chat to win a keyring.
Yeah.
But if we look at the last hits and denies, again, the story is just telling itself of what I said about the lanings. I mean, Bloodseeker. I mean, admittedly he is safe lane, but he is solo safe lane versus the Darkseer. He has 4 times the amount of last hits.
Yeah, AA caught out top and in the wrong place and gets brought down. And the keyring.
Same story. Sorry.
So I was going to do the keyring giveaway. We're going to have, if someone dies to the Razor Q, I believe it's called, Plasma Field. There we go.
They changed the names of it a lot, so I can't blame you.
If someone dies to the Razor Plasma Field, you need to put in the chat, "Ow, ow, don't tase me, bro." Oh, look, catch the CM out. The grip slowing the anti-mage down. They're going to try and right-click her, but I think she's going to get away. Blink forward from the anti-mage. Does get 1 hit off. Does get the final hit. And now the anti-mage needs to get out. Razor catching him out. Draining that damage. Uses the plasma field. Keeps running this anti-mage down. The static link breaks. Doesn't quite get away. They're going to kill the Razor back with the AA. So Razor picks up the anti-mage, but does go down to the AA there.
Really, really back and forth. Yeah, last hits and denies. Looking 4 times as many last hits in the Bloodseeker versus Darkseer lane. You've got Leshrac, surprisingly, winning in last hits. It's fairly close, but winning versus the Pugna.
And I feel like we have to point it out. The anti-mage has 1 last hit.
It's what you expect in this kind of lane. You're up against 3 ranged hero, and one of them just takes your damage as soon as you get near the creeps. And people go, "Oh, you just play safe, If you get, static linked, you just blink away." But that's all, well and good, but not when they have 2 controlling supports in the lane with it.
Radiant's middle tower is under
so
attack.
as I was saying, if someone dies to the Razor Plasma Field, ow, ow, don't tase me, bro, in the chat, please.
haste stored up on the Lashrak. Maybe you'll see when he gets level 3 in Split Earth, he might rotate, try and get a kill top or bomb. Bomb's probably his best bet, because this Bloodseeker is going to get a very early level 6, which is going to make some seriously good kill potential on the Darkseer. Yeah,
because he can't just run away. That the safety of playing a Darkseer is if you get in trouble, you just run away. And as soon as the Bloodseeker's 6, you can't just run away. I do think they are reliant on landing that Leshrac stun. So
update on the anti-mage front. He has 2 last hits now. 5 minutes into the game. 5 minutes. Ooh, here comes the haste rune coming up top, looking for a kill.
Here comes Lesh, throws the stun out, does catch the anti-mage. Now the static link comes in, AA running away, does blink out of range. Going to try and get into the trees, uses his salve. AA tries to go back onto the Razor, takes loads of damage from the plasma field. Going to get right clicked and then bursted by the Shadow Shaman. Great double stun from the ES, but they don't have the damage to run this Razor down.
That was a good recovery from Trent, but again, it's just showing, you know, the pace of the game is this early game is dominated by UniOv, and that's purely down to the draft. They just have better lanes, at least early. And all of this I was saying about the key role this anti-mage is going to be playing, you know, the others have to be strong, and they have the ability to fight team fights later, but the AM needs to be able to hold his own, to be able to have his items to survive when the enemies come to get him. And at the moment, with his 4 last hits, it's looking a bit iffy. He is currently 4 last hits to the 16 on Razor.
Oh, now he's in trouble. Does get grip. Razor manages to get the static link in, and they're going to just run this anti-mage down. No, not quite. He blinks away.
But even with him escaping, the Razor now has plus 40 damage to last hit with.
He just can't go out of this lane, and you know, I want to keep looking at the other lanes and see how people are getting on, but there's just no time. He's in a poor position. No grip from the Shaman, though.
He had the mana, didn't he?
I think he did. I don't know if it had only just come off cooldown, but
iffy choice. Yeah. Maybe it did.
There's 5 last hits now onto the 6 last hits onto the anti-mage, and 43 on the Bloodseeker.
No, this is what I was expecting. The Pugner taking, you know, getting ahead of the Leshrac mid. But as I said, you know, it's a close matchup. The Leshrac still has a very high capacity to last hit with Lightning Storm and his Split Earth abilities.
And now UniOv looking to push these creeps onto the tower. They can be aggressive into the Trent heroes. Change their mind.
Great warding position. You know, scouts out exactly where all of them are, and NTP's coming in.
They go for the burst to try and bring this AA down, and CM changes their mind, and now Trent try and turn it around. Even if they're not going for kills here, this is just harass from the 2 supports. The 2 supports are keeping all 3 of the heroes way back from the creep wave, because they're just so scared. When Shaman tries to go in, gets the right click, he's going to try and go for the burst now, manages to mana shield himself away. AM just about going to get out.
Earthshaker going down above the tower, so close, but CM getting stuck by the fissure.
The Pugner is here to kill the CM.
And Earthshaker gets out. Wow. Wow, that fissure both saved his life and condemned the CM. Just really, really unlucky placing. You know, CM not having a tango to cut through the tree, just getting caught out, and with Pugner TPing in.
Finally a little space for the anti-mage.
But Pugner went top, so immediately Leshrac skills up Diabolic Edict straight on the mid tower.
Yeah, can threaten that tower now.
And
Pugner in a poor position. Lightning strikes coming to slow him down. Grip comes in from the... And now an easy stun, and then it's just too easy for Leshrac to just burst the Pugner.
And now you've got mid lane undefended for 20 seconds versus a Leshrac with 2 points in Diabolic Edict.
Well, they're having to put the Earthshaker there to, well, even just sap some experience.
9 minutes in, Darkseer's nearly level 6, but's deciding to jungle so he doesn't have to face the level 8 Bloodseeker in lane.
Yeah.
The threat of Rupture just way too much at the moment. Bloodseeker's nearly at Maelstrom. He's got phased Maelstrom Wraithband. 64 last hits at 9 minutes in. Ideally for first position, you're supposed to get 60 last hits by 10 minutes. So he has not missed many.
Yeah, well
Seriously
ahead of his target.
And just running on the Darkseer. Tiny bit of miscommunication there with the ulti shackle, but
I think the Yeah, I think the grip there just held him in the silence so that they couldn't run away. But like you said, with the ulti on him, he couldn't really run away anyway.
Another haste rune on Leshrac.
Looks like they're aggressive top. The Razor running away from the Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage now being turned round on and doesn't get the time to blink away. And yeah, Leshrac running up. Might run into the Pugner instead. Catches out the AA. Now he's got to land a stun. Changes his mind and runs away. Throws the Lightning Strike. Split Earth narrowly misses. CM running over. Going to go with the freeze. Gets decrep, but AA out of position and going to get brought down. Just about. Another TP coming out.
Razor in a bad position.
Pugner trying to suck the CM. Doesn't get enough damage thanks to the stun from Leshrac. Bloodseeker is here now, running straight into the Darkseer. Now turns, goes to go on the Earthshaker, runs him down.
Double kill for Razor. He's nearing his level 6. This is going to be difficult. If the AM ends this fight level 4 and the Razor 6, that is the end of his lane. Ooh, Leshrac.
Not enough damage on the suck.
Sticking around just because he wanted
stays in the silence. Now the Razor running over to try and catch the AA. Stun onto the Shadow Shaman, stops him from gripping. Uniov really needs back out. Fisher is perfect. Oh, not quite. AA blast comes. Oh,
the damage!
Pugner blast was huge.
So much damage. And they just
still going aggressively. Throws the suck. Does he have the stun to keep him in range? He doesn't. And now that plasma field doing loads of damage. AM manages to block the CM. Now the Bloodseeker can run up, use this extra damage. It just runs that AM down.
The damage the Maelstrom proc does this early into the game. You know, you're 11 minutes in, and you're getting effectively a crit that does 160 magical damage extra on the hit, and then arcs. It's such a powerful item early. It's the same as getting javelins on Pangolier. It's so powerful the earlier you get them.
Look how much damage this Bloodseeker's got. He's running in towards the
Rupture. Oh,
Bloodseeker's going to try and TP away. The extra damage from the Maelstrom proc just ripping him down. They're going to catch out the Earthshaker in top. Razor now with the Static Link and the ult. Earthshaker trying to run into the trees to get away, having his damage taken, but here comes the Q. It doesn't quite have the range, and now he needs to find himself a position to TP away. Going to get caught out by the Razor, and didn't quite don't tase me. This Anti-Mage desperate to find somewhere to farm.
Having such a rough time of it. Level 4, fighting Mud Golems, 12 minutes in. That's rough. Hasn't even started his Battle Fury yet, unless you count Quelling Blade. But yeah. 200 gold into his Battle Fury.
Got a level 3 AA at 12 minutes in as well.
And a level 11 Bloodseeker and a level 10 Leshrac.
Catch out the stun with the Leshrac, but they can't really follow it up with anything.
The fact that Leshrac's been able to be in these fights with all these haste runes has been so brilliant for him, because he's now 2 levels
running down with a haste, but doesn't catch anyone out. But yeah, like you say, like really getting a lot out of these fights, and they even dropped wards top to bring down T2.
That five-man rotation bot, you know. Uniov knowing exactly what's going on. As soon as they push bot, they know everyone's coming. They TP out, and the rest of the heroes just go and take tier 2 top. They know no one's coming for them. They're all bot, no competition.
The Lightning Strike into the Pugner, and he's going to get caught out. Does get the Ice Blast, starts running down, caught just by the Split Earth, and now the Magic Burst is going to bring him down. I mean, great triple stun from the Earthshaker, but it can't save him.
Definitely made the right choice there, going for the Pugner. You know, they could have easily got the AA, but you know, such a risk, and you need the Pugner down. He is all the damage for Trent at the moment.
Edict, look how much damage the Edict does straight into that T2.
I'm not sure how Trent get back into this. I'd love to say, yeah, you know, they get the vacuum off, they get the AA ult, they get the big Echo Slam, but Earthshaker is 180 gold into his Blink Dagger. AA is level 4. This is gonna be rough. It's gonna be a real, like, tooth and nail fight to get back into this.
Yeah. I think Uniov's starting to open up a real... Well, I mean, we're 13 minutes in and they've got a 13k net worth advantage.
Let's have a look. Which one of these buttons? I know all of my buttons, of course. What am I saying? I'm trying to work out which of these buttons is going to allow me to see the win, the expected win for.
It's 97%, 96% in favour of the Radiant.
Wow, that is pardon my pun, dire.
Yeah, nearly up to 15k on the net worth difference now.
Anti-Mage, 35 CS at 14 minutes to Bloodseeker's 118. 119.
Has a ring of health and now queuing up the treads. Not even on his way towards Battle Fury yet.
And at this point, Bloodseeker, Yasha, Maelstrom, Phase Boots, and 1500 gold off Manta, full Manta, which will allow him just to purge.
How aggressive this Bloodseeker's being. Immediately throws the Rupture out. Oh, and the stun keeps him away from the AA.
Great fissure, great fissure.
Oh, now the Darkseer caught out of position, and the Bloodseeker can just do so much damage, trying to keep up with him. The Darkseer. Oh, he misses the stun.
It's a sad day when your Bloodseeker, or the enemy Bloodseeker, outruns your Surge Darkseer.
Yeah.
Was that level 4 Surge? It was level 3 Surge. Oof, that is a fast, speedy Sanic.
Very, very unlucky not to have been caught by that Earthshaker stun as well.
Oh, man.
Final outer tower goes down for Trent.
15 minutes in and every outer tower for Trent has fallen.
And I'm just going to try and do the maths on this, but we're not far off approaching the Bloodseeker having as many last hits as the entire Trent team.
You know it's sad when it's getting to that point. So what can they do? How can they get back into this? Anti-Mage about to hit level 7.
But, well, they need to get the 6 on the AA in as soon as possible. And hope that they can get a wombo combo team fight.
Just some food for thought. Bloodseeker is 400 gold off of having triple AM's net worth. Triple. It's just one of those games, you know, we all have them. Before we started, I was talking to you know, how seriously good, you know, some of these players are, and they really, really are. And it's maybe not being shown so much in this game, or maybe UoN is just, you know, showing that much more.
Oh, Shadow Shaman caught on the wrong side of that fissure, but has his wards down, they do manage to bring him down quite quick. But
he is a ton of control in the fight, and even his Q is some serious damage. His Aether Shock.
There's someone to raise it. It's a great double stun from the Earthshaker, but they're just going to leave the wards here to do the damage into the barracks.
Keeps the enemy out of the base. You know, it's just what they want at the moment. It's just damage control going on Bloodseeker bottom, but Bloodseeker just walks out. Just how strong he is at the moment. He has 2k HP and, you know, all the money he could want, having 11,000 net worth to Anti-Mage's 3.7.
Dire's top shrine is under attack.
Aether Lens out on
Dire's
Pugna.
top shrine has fallen.
See, I don't know if I would have gone Aether Lens on Pugna.
I've already let them see the net worth charts, Valvey, but let's have another look. We're up to 20k.
20,000 net worth.
UoN offside.
XP is pulling back slowly though, and I think that is mostly to do with the kill on Shaman.
They're trying to go
Oh, look
on
at
this
the damage
Darkseer,
on Darkseer. I'm so sorry, mate.
but he can just run away on, well, 30 health.
Yeah, can't kill him, but that, you know, even that alone, you know, going, oh, I live, you know, this is all fine or whatnot. That's still a big boon to Bloodseeker. Bloodseeker is just so much faster when there's someone like that, you know, hitting 500, you know, 520 movement speed easy. Goes full Manta now, going BKB.
We're up to 99% win chance.
When Bloodseeker gets his BKB, as I said in the draft, Trent's draft, even though on the back foot now, is so vulnerable to BKBs. If you're in a pub, you know, people wouldn't think to go BKB, they'd just go, I want damage, and this, that, and the other, which would give the enemy a chance to come back. But if Bloodseeker gets a BKB now, I honestly think he could take out the entire team.
Leshrac has one queued up after a Bloodstone.
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
And the more BKBs that come out, just the worse it's looking for.
Hit the tower top again. They're going to catch the Razor in with a Fissure.
Ooh, he's trapped
Try and
out.
push him top. They need to get the damage out into him though. And here comes the Decrepify. They commit the Earthshaker ult. Now they try and burst him. Now the Bloodseeker is in to start running down the Darkseer. And now turns, goes for the Earthshaker. Darkseer going to buy himself back and try and get forward onto this Bloodseeker.
Damage onto the Bloodseeker.
They back him onto the other side, and now he's going to get caught out by the AA stun. They do bring the Bloodseeker down, but the AA goes down for it. CM ult, she releases it. She's going to try and bring down the Darkseer in time. Going to stick herself to life, and then they grip the Pugner.
CM goes down to 40 HP.
Pugner immediately buys back. He's going to TP out to the other side of the Fissure, running over towards the Razor. Throws the Q blast out. And the AA blast managed to bring down the Shaman. So Trent only lose a whole lane of Rax bot and
yeah, it's what I was saying about Trent's draft is they had the AM, they would team fight with the other 4 and push with the AM, but they can easily merit it with UniOv because of how quickly Leshrac takes structures with Diabolic Edict. So much physical damage.
We've got a "Don't Tase Me, Bro" in the chat, so might be another keyring going the way of Mori.
I need to get my name on one. I still haven't managed to nab any. I'm way too slow.
Hey, it was a long way forward on the invisible Leshrac. Stun comes out. Now going to commit the Nova. Has the Edict going. Doesn't quite have enough damage. And
jumps away, but a Leshrac being able to take 2/3 of an anti-mage's health by himself at 20 minutes into the game.
Decrep, then comes the Suck. They're going to try and bring it down. Doesn't quite have the range. And the Shadow Shaman has a blink, so he can just leave.
Yep. One thing to note is the Earthshaker, they managed to bring down the Bloodseeker in the last fight. He used that, he ran back to base immediately and bought a Blink Dagger, which then allowed them to
catch the Razor out on the wrong side, does get the Decrep. Now going to run in, AA Blast coming in, does manage to hit the Razor just about, so now they need to get the damage out. No vision on him.
Full pipe and drums on Razor. He's just so tanky, even with the AA ult coming out. It's just such a hard kill.
Comes the Bloodseeker, and again the Darkseer just running away at max speed. Gonna get chased down by the Bloodseeker.
Stop it! Don't run! Oh man. 200 gold off BKB on Bloodseeker. This could be a very quick game indeed.
Dire's bottom shrine is
the Shrek has that Bloodstone finished and is now going for that BKB.
15 strength talent just picked up on Leshrac. Versus 30 movement speed, it's a bit iffy, but 15 strength translates to a lot of health. And, of course, probably like 0.2 second less stun duration.
Bottom shrine has fallen.
If that matters for anything.
Every little helps.
Yeah, Of course, the very important part. Do I get to say "Don't tase me" for the Centaur dying to her?
You don't, I'm afraid. But I don't know if you've spotted in the chat, but Mori has very kindly said if we do confirm that, we have to send Gary a keyring. So, there's the Echo Slam. He gets caught out. They're going to try and bring this Leshrac down. They do manage to do it. They get the damage out, but Bloodseeker just comes in and starts tearing them apart.
It's the tankiness.
You're tearing me apart, Seeker.
Look at him go. It's so scary.
Yeah, and there's the GG called. Yeah. They know how angrily the Bloodseeker can go in, and yeah, I think Trent maybe realised that a little while ago, but thought they could perhaps pull into it, and as was pointed out in the chat, as Maury said, that Trent were holding, but only so much you can hold in a game like that before it gets out of your hands, and I think Trent UniOv did very well to just sort of squeeze that one away from Trent. Yeah,
they were outdraft Trent. At this point, there's no point denying that they had capacity to fight back if things went their way. But the fact that UniOv ran that aggressive tri lane versus the defensive tri lane of Trent just sealed the deal. The fact that they put both their supports up there with the Razor just sealed anything that the AM could do. The only chance AM had was if he was to switch lanes to perhaps his off lane would be the best bet, but perhaps mid as well.
Yeah, I mean, the Razor against the anti-mage was such a difficult lineup for that AM. it was always going to be a very difficult proposition to try and farm in that lane. And then when they added the fact that they were running that tri lane, it just shut him away from any of the creeps. And
yeah, and it's not like Trent didn't see that coming in. They clearly knew. They ran a defensive tri lane. They said, this is going to be hard for AM. We need to make sure he gets his farm. And it's just the foresight that UniOv had that just shut that down.
You need to shout out. We've had 2 new follows in that. So we had James's 12. He's started following. We've got Ghostus 1 as well. So thanks, guys.
We love you very much.
I do need to pick a new 50 follower way, because I did say at the end of 2 weeks if Shotgun 69 hadn't claimed it, so we are going to pick a new random 50 follower to win the 50 follower giveaway prizes. So I will actually start doing that now. I will pop us on a 2-3 minute break, and I will grab a drink quickly, and then I'll start typing out, and we will do the random giveaway for the 50 follower, because the Shotgun 69 didn't follow up on that.
Sweet.
We'll take 2 minutes, guys, and we'll be back shortly. Oh yeah, there you go.
Right, there's the tip. Perfect. BM.
Oh, and the trolls, they've lured them out.
They have lured them out. Let's see if they go in. Oh, it's going straight up.
Lion needs to leave.
I have to activate that
The
BM.
troll's on his own!
He's going to die to the imprisonment. He's dead.
No, he's
Oh,
not.
no. Okay. He managed to put
Hammer
the
gets
BKB
dropped.
into
Out
him.
goes the bounty hunter. Now they're going to start laying into this center.
Are we going to see
Don't
an
know
egg
if the
here?
damage is there. The troll comes back on half life. Egg comes out, but he's going to go down.
Its own, yeah.
Great double shackle, but not enough damage. And the egg does go down. Imprisoned, and the disarmed Outworld does get rooted. Oh, not quite. And Trent just don't quite finish the job anywhere. And I actually think that's a misplay from the Outworld that's caused that, because they had separated the troll from the fight, because the Lion had sort of baited the Enigma, both chasing those blinks just behind them, both supports on the Trent side. Just behind. Getting streams now. Okay. If they placed it 40 seconds ago, they are aware it's on a 2 minute delay, right? I mean, the delay in game is 2 minutes, so. They've got the Ursa into the pit. The Lich is standing really aggressively to try and keep him out of it, pinging it out.
No, I don't think they're going to be quick enough here.
No, they need someone else to do damage. He's got bashed 3 times in a row there.
And the Pugner just got to run in, and now he gets gripped by the Lich. Now the fight can really start. Forward goes the Purge. In comes the boat. It's going to be perfect. Lands straight on top of the Oracle. No one caught in this monkey ult.
Too good.
And now comes the Ursa, the Medusa just pushing forward with that ult. Going to try and stop the Ursa. He turns into the Medusa and doesn't have the damage to bring her out. Now she can start looking to finish this Roche. Kunkka coming over trying to hit the Medusa. Doesn't get it. Chris ticks down to the Venno.
No mana on the Kunkka either. Really struggled to save this fight.
That was really unfortunate. Ursa needed to get out rather than keep trying to do it.
I think there was they hadn't made their minds up what they were doing.
Yeah.
So.
The Medusa going to the Phoenix is going to commit the egg.
No.
Aggression to top. Grip goes onto the Phoenix. Stops the Pangolier from being saved by the Phoenix. He does get the bash and bashes both the Shaman and the CK. In comes the egg. The roll goes between the two. They're going to try and lay into the egg and bring it down. Don't manage to do so. The stun going to come out just in time to stop the CK from killing it. And the troll there to pick up the not pick up the kill, but help the Phoenix out picking that up. Oh yeah, there you go.
I was right. There's the tip. Perfect. BM.
Oh, and the trolls, they've lured them out.
They have lured them out. Let's see if they go in. Oh, it's going straight up.
Lion needs to leave.
I have to activate that beacon.
Controls on his own.
He's going to die to the imprisonment. He's dead.
No, he's
Oh,
not.
no. Okay. He managed to put
Hammer
the
gets
BKB
dropped. Out
down.
goes the bounty hunter. Now they're going to start laying into this center.
Are we going to see
Don't
an
know
egg
if the
here?
damage is there. The troll comes back on half-life. Egg comes out, but he's going to go down.
On its own, yeah.
Great double shackle, but not enough damage. And the egg does go down. Imprisoned, and the disarmed Outworld does get rooted. Oh, not quite. And Trent just don't quite finish the job anywhere. And I actually think that's a misplay from the Outworld that's caused that, because they had separated the troll from the fight, because the lion had sort of baited the Enigma, both chasing those blinks just behind them, both supports on the Trent side. Just behind. Getting streams now. Okay. If they placed it 40 seconds ago, they are aware it's on a 2-minute delay, right? I mean, the delay in game is 2 minutes, so. They've got the Ursa into the pit. The Lich is standing really aggressively to try and keep him out of it, pinging it out.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be quick enough here.
No, they need someone else to do damage. He's got back.
New follower, My Fluffy Husky. Look at that.
Back in, yeah. We've got
Yeah.
My Fluffy Husky followed. We've got quite a few in there in the break. I think there's a couple of extra follows. DM, can I just say how happy it made me when you said DM releases it during that team fight? It needs to be a spammable meme in every draft, every stream that I do. Just people spamming release it.
You should be able to put it on your chat wheel. So you're casting, hold Y, throw your hand right, and see him released it.
That would be the ultimate goal. If I could make it up to
Come find me, Valve. We'll hash it out.
Yeah, we'll do a deal. I'll offer to work on Half-Life 3 in exchange for you letting me have that on the chat wheel. We have 2 new followers in that gap. So we've got Dota bots are OP. We've got My Fluffy Husky. I have just noticed in the chat that I think I'm gonna guess it's Greg, because my
Is it hating on me?
And my auto mod bot has filtered out one of his messages, and it's given me the option to allow or deny it, and I'm just going to leave it on deny. So
Sometimes you can't say shit, Greg.
Yeah, you
Just
can't
deal with it.
I'm not even sure if it is Greg. I'm going to guess it's Greg because he's saying "fight me, you cunt."
Greg, this is the English oppression pressing the Scottish all over again. You can't stand for this, mate. Can't stand for it. You got to get on top of this. You got to tell him to get out your swamp or whatever it takes.
Get out of my swamp. Oh, Gary.
What are you doing in my swamp?
Right. So, important thing is, as it was unclaimed, you need to do the 50 follower giveaway again. I need to randomly pick one of my first 50 followers, give them my 50 follower giveaway goodies. And what better way to do it than with the roll function on Dota? So I can roll 1 to 50. So here we go. Roll.
Here it comes, guys. We got this.
So
Fingers crossed.
It rolls 1 to 50, and the number is 21. Have a look. Let's have a look. Who is number 21?
Drumroll, please, guys. I'm really hoping this is me here. So hoping.
Oh, you're never going to believe it.
Who is it?
No, it's not the same person. It's also not Gary.
Oh, man.
Sorry, Gary, but number 21 Just make sure I'm counting this right. I'm going to recount it.
Please tell me it's Greg. Please tell me.
Greg's not even following me. That
What?
I know.
Come on, mate. If you're gonna say fight me in Twitch, gotta at least be following, man. That is
20.
shameful.
Number 20 was Dobby.
Ah!
But number 21, the username is Gaming with Absinthe, which is Maury.
Woo!
The winner of the 50 follower giveaway. And getting to have Release It Crystal Maiden as my emote.
Woo!
And winning the painting and the chosen keyring. And if Maury desperately wants a small piece of my curtain with something cross-stitched on.
I mean, it's all there. It's all there. Yeah. Now you gotta have your like whole acceptance speech thing. This is this is like a big deal. Come on.
Yeah. What do you have to say, Maury? What will you say about winning? How do you feel right now?
Oh, this goes out to my the whole shebang. Your aunt's left cat who supported you in your time of crisis 12 years ago when you were deciding whether or not to wear pink socks to school or not. We need to hear these acceptance speeches. All we've got is I love you all so much, and I mean, speaks volumes.
So yeah, I'm very happy with that.
Couldn't have gone to a better person.
Yeah, definitely not.
Apart from me.
Or,
that would have been better for me.
Oh!
Or Dobby.
What happened?
Types. Yeah, so we'll get a Release It Crystal Maiden emote sorted.
Man.
If that is still what you want to go with, Maury. And Saturday we can make sure we get the
Goodies!
we can get your follower giveaway goodies to you as well.
There's so much you could do with that kind of emote.
Oh yeah, this is it.
What have you got in your mind so far? Because in mine, I would just see like CM's head just screaming.
I mean, yeah, that kind of covers it. That is exactly what I want. Just a screaming Crystal Maiden.
Or you dressed as Elsa from Frozen, screaming.
That one.
I mean, they're both in my mind. Second's a bit scarier, but
The second is a terrifying thought.
So I've got to tell you what happened when we were on break. It's it's too perfect.
Okay.
So we muted ourselves. Told you I was gonna go and grab a drink, whatnot. Wandered all the way to the kitchen. Got what I wanted, no problem at all. Full pint of Pepsi Max as you do.
Oh yeah.
Coming back, walk into my living room, and it's just my dog sitting right in the middle of the room, staring at the TV, with Crufts 2019 up on the screen. Just I'm not gonna judge. Just wander off. Yeah.
Could it have been anything else? Of course, you can draw concept art, Maury. If you want to draw the emote exactly how you want it, that's perfectly fine with me. It is.
Honey did enjoy some TV.
Oh. If your dog's just watching Crufts.
Oh.
It was just perfect because she was just sitting there, tail wagging.
Clearly enjoying it as well.
Yeah. I've got an absolutely beautiful German Shepherd, and apparently she loves watching Crufts.
Well, there you go.
And who are we to judge? It might as well be the Olympics to her.
Well, yeah, this is it. It's the equivalent, isn't it?
The doggy Olympics.
Oh,
I think my dog could do quite well. How about your guinea pigs?
Oh, if there was a guinea pig Olympics.
Oh no, I meant in the dog Olympics.
Oh, in the dog Olympics.
Outrun the dogs.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, so guinea pig Olympics then.
Yeah, they'll have to do it in the guinea pig Olympics. They'd fail in that too. They really are.
Oh God, have you seen those videos of, admittedly not guinea pigs, but hamsters who have their litter, and then they choose one or two which they like above anyone else, and then they carry them round with them. But it's so funny seeing them get in the hamster wheels with them. because they pick up the kid and then they start running in the hamster wheel, and then half the time they drop it and the kid goes flying out of the hamster wheel. It's heartbreaking every time you see it, but yeah.
God.
They're not quite that energetic, your guinea pigs.
No, they're definitely not that energetic.
Man.
Right, so we've got to fire it out there. So, if you look below the stream, you can see a link for t-shirts.
T-shirts?
Which do need renaming. Or if you flick over onto Dobby's channel, which the link is the Dobby's face that you can click on. And as the chatbot has just spammed perfectly timed for me, when we get to 100 followers, following on nicely from the 50 follower giveaway, we're going to be giving away a Runs for Sandwiches t-shirt. Yeah. So if you drop into Dobby's channel and watch her most previous video, she's actually wearing a Runs for Sandwiches t-shirt. So you can actually see what they look like. They are going to be renamed to Titty Toast t-shirts. So that's what they're going to be named in the merch store. Titty Toast t-shirt. Oh, it looks like we've just got. There you go. So Newcastle VGES, the next game for Trent. I actually casted them 2 weeks ago when they played against UoN second team. Mm-hmm. So I've actually watched these guys once already, and yeah, they're pretty good. So it should be another good game of Dota. So I'm pretty hyped for this one.
Yeah, hopefully they'll get better legs off, because as you know, their draft they got pushed behind and they couldn't take off. Whereas if that draft if what they drafted got ahead, it would have blown up. Would have been amazing for them. Yeah,
they didn't quite get a foot into the game that last game. They were just sort of. I don't think they had the space at the start. The way that UoN came at them, they didn't really have the space at the start to get themselves into the game.
Yeah, they had to rotate lanes, and they just didn't, either didn't feel comfortable to do it, or were too caught up in the game, or whatever. But they ended up laning the AM versus the Razor, which is a no-go, and that really cost them the game.
But I said we'll see how they get on against Newcastle. I need to change the little overlay.
So anyone who's currently watching in chat who hasn't followed yet, he is well worth the follow. Great guy, and he's going to be blowing up anytime soon. So you definitely want to you want to be you want to be able to say I was in the first just over 50. First 100.
Everyone is far too kind. Well, Gary, you, Maury, all saying about how great.
I said that.
Oh. Thank you for the vote of confidence, Dobby.
I'm so joking.
It's mostly due to Dobby's stuff she makes. That's all it is.
But there is that. I do get a lot of help from Dobby making my key rings and cross stitches. So.
I'm joking.
Nah, mate, we're all here for you. So,
like I say, I get a whole lot of help. So, I've had you streaming with me, and I've had George and Miles last week, and Maury's even offering to cast, which I think would be a very fair thing to do, seeing as 50 follower giveaway. So, I'll have to have Maury jump on at some point.
Yeah, it'd be great.
We'll blow up even further, and then eventually we'll get a UK. Well, I was going to say we'll get a UK talent at TI, but OD Pixels kind of already beat me to it, so.
I mean, it's not like UK has any professional players, so we have to, get something in somewhere.
Well, I mean, I count Toby as UK based anyway, because he lives in London, so.
Yeah. Of course he is.
So it looks like the lobby is up for the second game.
Fantastic.
Of course, it's being covertly sent to me in Facebook so that I don't just show everyone the password.
I'll let you set up the broadcast channel again.
Oh yeah.
Oh. So, where do you want to see? Just completely tangentially, how do you where do you want to see the next TI? Talking about TI casters and stuff like that.
Well, I mean,
obviously not the one in Shanghai. Is it in Shanghai?
Oh, it's in
China.
It's in China, yeah. Beijing.
Yeah. Is it yeah, it's Beijing. Sweet. Yeah.
I mean,
so obviously not there, but
yeah. I mean, it'd be too obvious to say I kind of want it in the UK.
I mean, they brought ESL to Birmingham, which is pretty awesome, and they're doing it again this year. I'm gonna try my best to make an appearance. I know you're gonna be there.
I'm definitely there.
It's gonna be a fantastic time.
I'm there all weekend, so.
Are you volunteering this year?
I'm not volunteering this year.
Great.
So you won't get any high fives with Slacks, eh?
I'm not going to be getting high fives from Slacks this year, and I'm not going to be having lunch with IG again.
Man, tough taters.
I know.
But hey, can hang with your friends and do some humble casting in the corner.
Oh just sat in the corner.
How annoying would that be if you were sitting in the crowd and the guy next to you was like narrating everything,
just explaining everything going on?
It would be like listening to a stream with me in it. It would be.
Oh, Gary, you don't have to put yourself down like that. Only Greg that doesn't like you. What does he know? He sounds like Shrek.
He does sound. and it's lemon. What was it? Orange currant, and we're never letting that go with the orange currant.
The orange currant thing, yeah. Oh, yeah, and that's a nice little reminder as well, Pete. People that I have played Dota with have been a part of Na'Vi, so
Wow. Wow. I mean, standing in for Dendi, that's seriously high.
Yeah, well, I mean, when we say that he stood in for Dendi, what we mean is someone we know was a caster at the time. I think they were a caster, or they played with pretty high level guys, and we were flicking through lobbies at the time, and one of the, I think it was Na'Vi versus KSI Int.
Oh, I've got to stop you. Sorry, you've been vetoed.
Oh, okay. Don't explain it.
Apparently, guys, you're gonna have to just deal with it there. There's gonna be no closure to that story.
Yeah,
it's just gonna be eternal stress for you who heard the beginning.
I will dig up the screenshot of us in the lobby with Andy standing in for Dendi, and I'll dig it up and I will pop it in the in Facebook. And yeah, it was good. I'll dig up the screenshot and I'll pop it in. And I mean, we're talking about classic era Na'Vi as well, so we're not talking about the new guys. We're talking about, they had Puppy, they had Kuriki, they had Solid View, who is
the golden days.
Andy was in Na'Vi, not Dendi. Andy.
Andy. I mean, it's pretty close. Yeah, Dendi, Andy.
They're close enough. Yeah.
Dendi takes off his mask like he took off the Pudge one at the All Stars match, and it's Andy
Just
underneath.
Andy underneath. Oh man! Well, now I need to make that, and that's got to be a video when I go into intermission.
Was that the TI when they brought out? Was it Dead Mouse? Yeah, Dead Mouse afterwards.
It was, and I remember watching that and just thinking, well, this is a bit weird, because it was just a load of people who clearly aren't really into it, like.
And they had no space to dance or anything. They were like sitting in like booth seats.
It was just so weird to watch. It was just surreal. Like
that was the last TI I watched with my brother, because he moved out and whatnot. But we were both sitting there. We were watching the finals. We got super freaking hype about it, and then it cuts to what's the name of the female presenter?
Oh, Shiva.
Casey?
Oh, Casey, yeah.
No, it wasn't Shiva at the time. It was Casey, and it's like, and now we've got something really special for you. And it just cuts to Dead Mouse in this really weird, like, sweeping, panning shot. And then it's just sudden rave music, and it just cuts to the crowd, and everyone's just, like, distraught.
Just sat there, just staring into the middle distance.
Just like, what can we do? Is there no salvation? And there's, like, two people who are dancing, so of course, they got the whole shtick. That's something I really missed at TI this year. I was lucky enough to go, but they didn't have the big musical thing. They always have a big musical thing. They've had Lindsay Sterling, they've had Dead Mouse, they've had all these like big orchestras. They had the Valve Orchestra. They recently I think it was not this year but the year before they had that weird like tech band
They've had, had a lot. Like they've covered loads of bases.
I was so grumpy because I'm a musician and I would have loved that. But instead, I had Slacks misreading my shirt because he wanted an OG fan from the crowd, and I was wearing an Optics Gaming shirt which says OG on the front. So he called me down. It was like, "You an OG fan?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, sweet." I'm like, this is Optic though. It's like right before the finals. They have this big interview with like 5 people in they Slacks was going through debating this, that, and the other with them, and I was this close to being in that if I hadn't told him that Optics Gaming shirts look nothing like OG shirts.
You could have just been there with Slacks.
Yeah, would have been on TV, on Twitch, in front of hundreds of thousands of people right before the finals.
But would you prefer to be on Twitch in front of all those people, or on Twitch right here, right now, casting this?
Of course, right here, right now.
That's what.
How could I miss these first phase Kunkka bands every game?
I don't know what it is about Trent and Kunkka, but they hate Kunkka.
He's a really strong hero, but he's been massively nerfed with the rework to his Tidebringer, calculating damage based on individual's armor value. He can't just go with like the massive crit build like he used to be able to. He's way better as like a strong frontliner tanky hero now.
And they even took away the Tidebringer damage on deniers as well. So
yeah, it's
Yeah,
and CK again, another one of their safety bands. Ooh, some strong bands from Newcastle too. The Viper, as I said in the first game, super strong, and the Brimstroke is known for being awful, terrible for playing against in lane.
I am surprised at a first pick lifestealer. I don't think that's first pick worthy. It's strong. I won't argue that, but I don't think it's first pick worthy.
Yeah, I mean, when Midas was super prevalent, he got really strong for a bit, and he's still really strong just because of the current meta of picks. Stuff like Mars just crumbles to him, which makes him very strong. But it also kind of broadcasts that you're going to go for a mobility hero, which gives Trent something in their mind that they can just focus on denying.
Oh, they're not hanging about on Trent. Straight in with the Lion and the Willow. So
seriously, good start, solid start, really good control, really good damage. The lane might not be fantastic with the Dark Willow, but we'll see how that goes. Slada again, a really tanky, like heavy hitting hero. These guys seem to be drafting from different patches, it seems.
Yeah, certainly looks like it. You got two. Well, Lion. There's not many heroes that chuck out much more magic damage than Lion. And Willow, who again a lot of her damage is magical until you get that massive attack speed and can spam attack people. But yeah, and then a lot of physical coming out on the Newcastle side. So like you say, it's almost from two different.
First ban on Trent after the Lifestealer pick, Storm, straight up gone.
Yeah, you don't want
not giving them that way too.
Storm Bomb with a Night Lifestealer was just.
Yeah, there's a few. It's just all the really high mobility heroes that. PA I've noticed is a really nasty one too, although you then end up picking some weird drafts because it has to be like an off-lane Lifestealer or a support PA, which become a bit weird. But with PA's smoke ability, it becomes ridiculously good because you can just jump on people and then suddenly there's a Lifestealer on top of you and you can't move because you're slowed from Stifling Dagger as well as Open Wounds and you just die.
Yeah, okay.
There's no hope for you.
I think I actually just got physically hurt by the fact that you said that.
There are Space Cow as well. As I said, the mobility hero is just immediately getting banned after the Lifestealer pick. It could just be a Lifestealer pick to throw them off.
It could just
be, we want a stable hero, we need him to have a BK, like a BKB effect, and we want to force them to pick mobility heroes, to ban mobility heroes so we can play into that. Or look at the new Drow model. Look at that.
Just say a chance to show off the new Drow model.
Standing one hip forwards, or one leg forwards. Much more provocative, as the posh people say.
Oh, Gary, busting out the big words here.
The big words.
Well, I've already been challenged to say some big words. To be fair, I get one every week with the changing names. Looks like a L'Oreal advert now, and I'm into it. Oh, Maury, brilliant.
Because she's worth it.
Oh, she is worth it. Yeah. I mean,
Because she's worth about 200 gold per death.
the damage from the passive. That's the one. That's what's worth it.
Ooh, the Lich. Seriously good hero in lane. You know, gives so much control and so much defense. It's such a tanky draft from Newcastle so far.
And I tell you what, that Lich Frost Armor with the Lifestealer, you open wound someone and they can't go anywhere.
And the damage from the Slardar Lifestealer bomb, you know, the amplified damage bomb into,
10
you know,
seconds remaining.
Blink, Slardar, Lifestealer, just the damage they can output on a single
5
target is
seconds
obscene.
remaining.
And I perhaps wonder if the Drow pickup from Trent is almost a response to being shut out of the game previously, where they struggled with getting farm onto the anti-mage when he got shut out of his lane. Well, the Drow, you don't have to worry about that because as soon as you've got 6, you can back up to the jungle, and I perhaps wonder if that's a response to that happening.
Yeah, no, it definitely gives them a fallback mechanic if they pick up. But I also think with these heroes they've started off with, they're less likely to fall behind as it is. Because Lion, unlike Pugna, has a lot more versatility. Pugna has a ton of damage and can rotate and kill really, really well. But Lion can be played a lot more aggressively in a lot more different roles just because he has so much more control.
Yeah.
Which can lead to completely different lanes. I mean, at the moment, I'm not sure if that's a mid-line. Mid-line is really super fun at the moment. Works really well with the Drow because of the extra damage trait Lion gets early. I can't remember how much it is, but it's something like 50 damage at level 10.
Yeah, it's quite
Ridiculous.
a lot.
Which works fantastically with Drow if you're running him in the core position. But also, if you're running him in with support, you know, still a super strong, super good hero. Wind
Still
Ranger.
Wind Ranger, so I think that's going to be... Well, that kills the purple strat for a start.
Yeah, no more purple.
Dire team
And I think
Sucks.
that's going to be quite... Well, it could quite possibly be a mid Wind Ranger. I've seen Acronym play that. I've also seen Zarlok play that off lane, so...
Such a tanky draft from Newcastle. They just keep picking strength heroes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it is going to be a Wind Ranger, a mid Wind Ranger, I am going to throw my hat in the ring and say, you want to deal with all the strength heroes? There's only one hero for it. Well, there's 2 heroes for it, actually. Sorry, let me phrase that. There's 2 heroes for it. You can either pick Timbersaw or you can pick Undying.
Yeah, they are scary to deal with in lane, and they would give you such a... because not only in lane are they reducing your health, but on a strength hero they're reducing your damage too, and by a lot.
Yeah.
You know, if you come to lane level 1, and quite often versus an Undying, you end up with -8. You know, when the first creep wave hits. If you're a Lifestealer and you have 53 starting damage, you're down to 45 damage to last hit with a variance of something like 2 or 3 damage either way. So you could be going for a hit and roll 41 on damage, 41 or 42, and that's rough. That's really, really rough in lane. However, I've got a gut feeling that's not what they're going to go with.
No?
I think they're going for the full range strat.
Okay. What do you think they're going to go
10
for?
seconds remaining.
I'm not sure whether that's a Wind Ranger mid or Wind Ranger off lane yet, so I'm not really sure what to suggest. But
I would like to see this Windrunner run off lane, because I think it would do quite well versus the Lifestealer. Just because of its survivability, it would just be able to stay there and deal damage, which would allow them to do a tri-lane,
10 seconds
possibly
remaining.
with the Drow or with someone else. There are a ton of possibilities for them, and I think most of who they're going to pick will depend on who Newcastle picks now, their mid laner. Medusa, Monkey King, Space Cow, and Quap all banned, you know, in the last few phases. The Quap ban is quite an interesting one because they do have the big silence from Drow.
yeah, I think it's perhaps a hero they're worried about someone getting on top of the Drow and getting in her face, I suppose. That's perhaps why the Quap bans come out. But like you say, with the silence there...
Yeah, it makes me think that, well, usually when you're running Drow as a core or something like that, you'll have a support sitting behind them. That's the traditional way of fighting, is, you know, you have your first position and then you have a support there to cover them if something happens. So if you're up against a Quap, you have instant cast Hex on Lion. Quap jumps in on top of the Drow, screams, gets a scream off, maybe gets a dagger off as well, then immediately gets hexed. Drow Hurricane Pikes and kills the Quap. It doesn't seem like that big of a threat to me if Lion is sitting behind the Drow. But this is making me think they're going to be trying to play this more aggressive Lion style. So you'll probably see him rotate a lot, you'll probably see him rush first item blink, you'll probably see him right up in the enemy's face. Ooh, they seem to be having a bit of trouble choosing who their next hero is going to be on Newcastle.
Not quite committed on anything, are they, just yet? They've taken plenty of time.
But, the time's there to be used. Maybe they're just trying to psych out Trent. But with the heroes they were picking, for some reason in my mind, I thought they had a draft they were going for with this weird high damage minus armor build.
Dragon Knight.
I thought,
oh no, okay.
Zeus. Interesting. I mean, fantastic versus Wind Ranger. Really, really changes the whole flow of the game for Wind Ranger. And can be very good for playing against aggressive heroes with blink. Something like Lion, you can use vision to get, or you can use your lightning bolt to get vision on the back line, and zone out heroes who blink in.
Worth remembering now that obviously that Zeus passive has changed, that it only affects the people that Zeus is targeting. Less useful areas, so I guess the vision, I suppose, is useful for catching those output. So worth considering that he's now not going to be cancelling those blinks.
Yeah, it's not anyone within range of him cancels it. Oh,
Huskar.
Okay, they have a double edge, and Zeus. I'm not sure what I think of that, because Lifestealer traditionally is quite good versus Huskar.
That's an interesting one for me.
And if your last pick is not good versus the enemy's first pick, they've got to have some kind of pocket strat going on here. As I said, I thought they would be going for a ranged hero just because I just had a gut feeling. But honestly, I thought it was going to be the SF.
Yeah, that's a weird one for me. I'm not quite sure what to make of that. Because he's so
fragile with the amplified damage versus a Slada. His whole thing is he just regens, but with amplified damage and the physical output from Centaur. Centaur with his reworked return can right click for something like 700 damage.
Yeah, it's an interest. It's definitely an interesting one. I'm not so sure whether I back that, but I've been wrong before, so
yeah,
we'll see what they do with it.
Old school would have been great versus Zeus. All the magic damage they throw out would have been fantastic, but they've reworked it so he's not magic resistant anymore.
Yeah, and now I'm not so sure. But we've got we'll see Slardar going to that top lane handled by Radderry. We've got Mitko taking that Centaur into top. We've got KQ holding the Zeus mid. We've got Tifty on the Lifestealer in bot, and we've got Morby taking the Lich into bot as well. And then we've got Mr. Morningwood top taking that that Dark Willow. If you could stand still for a second so I can read his bloody name, we've got Parathyroidectomized on the.
Wow, that was pretty good, mate.
Yeah, asking me who used to work in a pharmacy to say stuff about thyroids. That's easy for me. That's no problem at all. So he'll take the Lion top, the Imithrandir on that Huskar mid, Akrim on the Drow, and Zarlok on the Windrunner in bot. And actually, I think it's going to be a Huskar safe lane.
The battle begins.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're going to run Mithrandir Huskar safe lane.
Ooh, it's a switch up because he's usually their mid.
Thank you, Steve. Need to move the overlay. Oh, Andy's got the screenshot on Facebook, so we're going to dig that out and pop that on my. I'm going to pop that on the Facebook group later. So if you want to see the time that my friend Andy stood in for Dendy, make sure you go into the Facebook link underneath the channel and give that Facebook page a follow.
So prediction in lane, Trent is going to win every lane but their off lane. Tops, their safe lane's going to be a bit iffy. It's going to be more based on skill than anything else. But the fact that it is two supports.
Well, they're going to rotate the Lich up now, and stun thrown out by the Lion, but the Newcastle side just trying to run down Trent's supports, and over comes the Huskar. He's going to start trying to like get into this Centaur. And Huskar's a long way far forward. He should be farming. I don't know.
The creeps are dying, Huskar. Huskar, you just lost like half a creep wave's worth of farm. Would have been worth it for first bloods, I suppose. So, yeah, it's always that. With the tri-lane rotating up top, it's going to be about even. The only advantage they have is the range on Huskar versus the Centaur. But one good stun and Huskar goes down.
Yeah, he will be in trouble if he gets caught out. This is all about his positioning.
Mid lane, it's a difficult one to say.
They ping him out, they're going to try and go on him. Great double stun from the Lion to keep the Slardar away from the Huskar, and now he goes straight down.
Interesting play from Slardar there. You know, didn't run, decided he was going to go for the two-man stun, but his team just didn't follow him up. There seems to have been a bit of miscommunication there. You know, goes in, gets the double stun, and just, you know, falls apart from it.
So, if someone dies off screen to the Huskar burning spears, the keyring giveaway for this game will be not hoo-ha Huskar.
Not hoo-ha Huskar.
Not hoo-ha Huskar. So if you spam not hoo-ha Huskar in the chat, if someone dies to the burning spears off screen, that will be how you win a keyring.
Ton of harass coming out top, but again, Huskar's prioritizing damage onto the enemy supports over CS. This might pan out in the long run, but I mean, CS is important, dude. CS is really important.
Well, we'll see him falling behind both the Drow and the Lifestealer. So, and they get the stun off onto the Huskar. Now they're going to try and run him down. No double edge. The Slardar is going to go down in response, but losing the Huskar is not great. They're going to get the Hex out onto the Lich as well. So 2 kills going.
They should have enough strength to zone the Centaur too. Centaur shouldn't be able to get much farm out of this.
But yeah, so it's not gonna hurt them too much that getting that kill. And Huskar back already, so Slardar having to make that long walk, and same as the Lich. So
yeah, you can really see it in the CS at the moment. You know, Lifestealer having no problem at all versus the Windrunner. As I said, you know, I like the Windrunner versus the Lifestealer only because I thought they'd be running aggressive with a support and the Lifestealer, because Windrunner shouldn't, in theory, die against that. You know, it's a fairly safe lane for Windrunner, but Lifestealer just dominates it. There's not much the Windrunner can do. Great for getting a early 6 on the Windrunner though. You know, it's a lane you can sack and be comfortable with sacking. Ooh, is that more fighting top?
They're going to try and go on the line. Now they're trying to chase down Mr. Morningwood's Dark Willow, and he can just run away.
And this is where it comes, you know. Centaur, Slardar, and Lich all do a lot of their damage AoE, and the fact that they've been fighting in the lane means the creeps have been pushed. Whereas Huskar does single target DPS, Lion does mostly single target DPS, Dark Willow does, you know, pretty much single target DPS as well. It's just pulled the lane completely back.
Willow's in a bad place here. Just about going to make it out, I think. Ice Blast's going to slow him down. Now the shield slow. There is damage there.
The queued up bash on Slardar, you know, prepped for his bash. You know, 2 hits on a creep, and you know you're going to bash on the next one. Super good damage for harass.
Been asked to move the overlay because it's can't see the
respawns on it.
And touch.
They're trading about as well as, you know, I thought mid. You know, Zeus should possibly get a few more CS, but Drow with the ability to Frost Arrow to ignore creep aggro is pretty freaking good as well. And as long as Drow stays on top of regen, it should be a fairly even matchup.
Only way this was
however, very gankable on Drow's side. Zeus has a ton of kill potential on Drow if Drow's not careful. Already double braces out on Huskar. 1,000 health at 5 minutes. 1,000 health and 65 damage. Oh, that is some serious trouble top.
Some of overlay issues.
Once again, going all in on Huskar, taking him down, but in exchange, the Centaur, the offlaner, drops. I mean, these are still good trades. You're trading your first position for the enemy third position, and looks here like you'll be trading your fifth position too. Just running him down. Easily taking him.
Playing Dota 2.
Huskar coming back
Double
in,
kill.
looking to get a kill, but way ahead of them. And they can't get salves couried because Drow was getting her Wraith Bands. So the Lion is left to just hide and skirt away. Did Willow bring him a salve? Nope. That could be rough. Lich has a nuke.
Well,
And
really
again,
aggressive here.
Yeah, top lane is where it's at. It's very similar to last game. It's a lot of fighting, tri-lane versus tri-lane.
But again, the Huskar just running away from the lane and gonna try and get some damage into this Lich. I don't know how much he can do. Doesn't quite have the move speed, and it's just wasted time. And give him the Centaur farm.
Yeah, I've been counting. So far he's lost 3 creeps from being away, and he's fighting the Slardar whilst his supports are by the creeps.
But they're trying to run enough damage in, and they do bring the Slardar down. The Huskar is now in a long way. The Zeus ult comes out.
Back in old Huskar time, wouldn't have killed him there, but as I said, reworked so he doesn't have super high magic resistance. Drow already working on her ancients. Got level 6, getting treads out now. Windrunner 6 to 7 on the Lifestealer. Lifestealer, neither of them being able to do much to each other. They're both getting okay farm. Lifestealer, top of the chart on CS at the moment. 46 and 21.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah,
CS.
I mean, I've not really moved off of this top lane for variation of reasons, but I mean, all the fighting is here, and Drow at least staying level with the Zeus, but Windrunner not really stopping this Lifestealer from farming. He's
and that's the problem with running a tri-lane, is you've chosen a defensive offlaner who can survive against that lane, but it's not denying the Lifesteal or anything. So by running that tri-lane, you are allowing the enemy first position just to get so farmed. And with the way they're trading top, third position for first position, it means that the Huskar is falling way behind on CS. Is now 27 CS behind.
Gonna try and go on this Lich again. They've got the damage here. Ice Shield does come in, but again, another kill going over onto that Willow. So 4 and 2 on the Willow already.
Seriously strong hero. Tends to be less picked now because Grimstroke is more stable in lanes, but as Grimstroke was banned this game, it's a very strong pickup. Her W ability allowing her to disappear and becoming completely untargetable is so valuable for a support, because it means you can go for those really dodgy plays, those really deep wards and stuff like that without threat of too much threat of dying.
It just gives you that 50-50.
Level 8 on Lifestealer to level 6 on Windrunner. Just skyrocketing ahead with his denies, and it's not like Windrunner's being pushed out a lane or anything. That's purely a difference of a level and a half just because of the denies Lifestealer's been able to get in lane.
Not only that, but they've really sacked off this Drow in the mid lane against the Zeus.
I'm so surprised to see that Huskar hasn't gone mid versus the Zeus. The Drow's just been farming jungle, and I don't think it's been that much more efficient than farming the lane, because it wasn't stacked, because they didn't have a support in the off lane. So not only running this tri-lane has reduced the effectiveness of their off lane, it's also kind of screwed over the Drow.
Yeah,
Drow not using frost arrows.
Kind of want to be like farming stack camps, and with the ease of that passive to taking jungle camps, you kind of want to abuse that. And like you say, with no one stacking those camps, it's just casually farming. Really, it's not. There's nothing to it.
And you can see the difference appearing. The Zeus is
head top now.
56 CS to the Drow's, also matching on 56, but Drow's been farming jungle, so.
Huskar, you're in trouble. Zeus is here for him. Slardar trying to run him down. Does get the bash off with that guaranteed bash. Now comes the Zeus's damage. Throws himself out into the Centaur. Going to burn In comes the Lion stun, does bring him down. Now they're going to turn and try and go on the Lion. Zeus brings him down with an easy Q, and then follows up with another one to take out the Dark Willow.
So much damage. Zeus coming top right at the peak of his strength, you know, just as he's maxed out his Arc Lightning and his Lightning Bolt. I mean, 350 damage, 150 damage. No static field yet, but just this is the strongest he could be at the moment. Is his static field won't make that much difference until later on.
Yeah.
And that's skyrocketed him towards his Ags. He's halfway towards his Ags at 11 minutes in.
Yeah, I guess they want to be able to use that Nimbus to scout out where the Drow is all the time.
Blink Dagger queued up on the Slardar, Vanguard up on the Centaur, or queued up, not but yeah. Lifestealer going to Radiance, yeah. As we Here
comes the level 6 Slardar going to try and go into that Lion, but brought off by the Dark Willow, so Slardar can't quite get on top of him.
The Corrosive Haze is just going to make this more and more difficult for the Huskar.
And not only that,
Corrosive Haze. Sorry, go for it.
Also, I was going to say that it will give the Lich space to move off and perhaps do some work elsewhere. I appreciate it's more of a defensive support than an aggressive one, but the slow perhaps giving an option to try and go on the Windrunner or maybe try and hunt that Drow down.
The gap increasing further in the offlane versus the Dire offlane. It's 2-level difference now between the Lifestealer and the Windrunner. Just purely down to these 26 denies that the Lifestealer has to the Windrunner's 8.
They're not opening up a huge net worth gap. Just a little look at the graph. It's only 1,500 gold. So I think the Drow farming is at least keeping up, I suppose. Yeah,
but Drow isn't taking into account the damage mid tower's taking and the amount of the loss of control of the map they're going to get.
And now the Centaur used to try and go on this Huskar again. Great route laid out by the Willow, but doesn't have enough to keep that Huskar alive. The Drow is now here to start tearing in at these top heroes, but the Willow goes down as well to the Centaur. Now the damage trying to come out from the Drow, trying to stay away. One passive hit, but not enough, and the Centaur stays low, but do they have the vision? They do with the power shot. And the blink forward from the Drow already has a blink.
Unusual item to go, but I can definitely understand why. Usually you see something like the Asher or a similar agi item, but in this kind of game you need your mobility. Otherwise, Lifestealer is just going to be able to get on top of you. You're going to be slowed. There's nothing you can do.
The Lich in position to try and save this Zeus from the Huskar, but the Drow is there, and now the Lich is in a long way. They do get the tower down, but Huskar diving forward straight onto that Lich and blows him up.
That was a really, really good recovery. I was starting to really worry because with Trent's team comp, once again, they went very heavy on making sure their first position, their Huskar, could get what he needed to. And with the way the game's been running, they've sacked the mid lane, they've given the Zeus free farm, they've given the Lifestealer free farm, all in aid of getting a good top lane. And you can see how well the top lane went with the first position only having 10 more CS than the third position offlane, than the opposing offlane.
Yeah, so I'm not quite sure how Trent will look at that net worth wise, because I'm not quite sure their trade off is well, they've stayed close net worth wise, but I'm not quite sure that sacking the first position to get more farm onto your Windrunner and leaving that Lifestealer on his own is really paying off for them.
No, it's your Huskar, despite everything they've done to keep him alive, is 2, 5, and 7.
Aggression into bot, but lots of TPs from Newcastle to defend this Lifestealer, and I think Trent quite happy to just back away there. They use the Lion and the Wind aggressively.
That could be rough. The Zeus just TP'd from base to bot, so it's going to be a free game mid, and the Willow is sitting there, but he's backing up. Doesn't realise that there isn't TP support for mid. With the DD rune, he could have done a ton of damage to the mid tower, but maybe that's just caster's hindsight, being able to see from bird's eye.
I think, Newcastle have picked up on the fact that there's a couple of stacks in the Dire jungle, and now they're going to bring this Willow up and try and move this Centaur away from the tower. They know the Drow is missing, and Trent are in a good position around this Slardar here. Doesn't manage to get the Lion stun out. Here comes the Hex, then the stun. Forward leaps the Huskar, and he just burns him down, and the last hit goes onto the Lion.
But
So,
was it worth it? Was it worth it for the rune?
well,
Big question.
they protect the stack, but Windrunner goes down in bot, and
Goes
Still
down to
in there.
Soul. Oh no, it wasn't Soul. Sorry. Goes down to the Life Stealer.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Life Stealer,
they're going to
1000.
leave the rune, and the Lich doesn't quite pick up on the fact that the Drow's there. Does see a creep go down and starts moving over.
This could be really bad for the Drow.
If he doesn't
They have
realise their
ward, they know
support,
she's there.
and now
That is
the Lich stare and the magic damage from the Zeus.
So much damage early on in the game. You know, before they have the chance to get their pipes out, their BKBs they can control. And it's such a good hero versus the Drow, versus the Windrunner. It bridges the gap and it ignores the Wind Run from Wind Ranger. It's really, really good pick. And if they don't deal with it properly, it'll get on top of them. And unfortunately, they give it free farm, so it's only 460 gold off of their Ags at the moment. Zeus.
Yeah, and we're only sort of 1,200 away from the Radiance and the Lifestealer now, so...
Lifestealer was 1,000 off it, but chose to get full phase boots instead. Six 800 gold off of Blink on Slardar. Huskar still 1,000 gold off his armlet, his first item.
Yeah, now that net worth's starting to swing in the favour of Newcastle. They're now just 4k up, so...
What's the win-loss?
Win probability up at 85% for Newcastle. So.
It's a rough one. Again, it's just these plays that Trent are making, these early decisions that aren't quite panning out. Something I noticed which I thought was quite unusual was the fact that Willow in lane was using her Shadow Realm as a very aggressive thing, especially when it came to team fighting. Usually use it to harass in.
Commit their Centaur ult to try and keep the Lifestealer alive. Now the stun's there. Great Zeus ult to do loads of damage into these bot heroes for Trent. They hold him with the root. Now the stun going out into the Centaur. Going to try and get some damage out into him. In comes the stun. The Zeus ult is there with the Lion with a pop.
Finger of Death. So Zeus, that was a really good time. Well, a really lucky time to initiate. Zeus was really low on mana. I say it was lucky. You know, of course, the team could have very well have been looking at his mana, but the fact he was low mana meant he popped his ulti and then he didn't have anything else, which means did a ton of damage to the team, sure, but they weren't at death's door and they could still fight, which allowed them to pick off the Centaur. Yeah, you know, these are the kind of things that Trent need to do to get back into this. They need to get the Huskar, who's just got his armlets on the courier now. You know, they need to be able to turn it this way. Jumping in behind tier 1
dive in for the Huskar, thinks he's got the damage to do it, then fires out that burst and the Lich is going to burn down, but there's that Nimbus. He's not quite in range for long enough.
So close, but the Centaur didn't TP to tower.
Yeah, and in the meantime, the Lifestealer goes down bot. Then it's the Lion he goes down to.
Some big turns. You know, 400 gold to Lion. Might not sound like much, but that's practically his blink. He's 200 gold off blink now.
The Lion and the Huskar narrowly miss the Slardar. He comes up onto the high ground. They're going to try and go on the Centaur instead. Amp damage out onto the Lion. They have vision of him, but damage now coming straight into the Centaur.
So much damage.
Bedlam and the fire just burning him down.
But two heroes on Centaur, and both of the heroes end up at
It's a big blink forward from the Drow. Gets caught out by the Nimbus. Now the Slardar's going to try and get on it. First hit bash. In comes the... Oh, and the Lich ult bouncing between the two of them. It's going to bring down both the Lion and the Huskar.
So much damage, and the amplified damage, you know, giving Drow no place to hide.
So aggressive from the Drow to blink 4 like that, and they need to back away here because both the Zeus and the Lifestealer are here. They keep chasing the Drow now. They change their mind, go for the Willow. Stun, keeping them close.
Shadow Realm, so she should be able to escape.
Yeah. It's a long dive in for, well, no gain on the Newcastle side, but they did manage to pick up that double kill.
Invis Windrunner wrapping round.
Oh, and
trying to get a play with the Willow, but the Willow just nuked with the Nimbus. Not even a chance to get off a spell.
she's just 500 away on the blink for Slardar, so that amp damage can become even more of a problem soon.
The map control you can see the difference at this point in the game. You can really see, Dire is playing with the jungle between mid and bottom lane. That's their safe area, and the whole rest of the map is Radiance. This is looking really tricky. Lich happily creep skipping by himself top lane. No worry of TP's in or anything like that.
And immediately pinged out when Trent start rotating through that jungle. Newcastle immediately start pinging out.
They have so many wards, as I said. It's their jungle at this point. They know exactly what's going on. No smoke from Trent, so yeah.
A couple of D wards come out, but not quite in the right places. And
Tower goes down and Newcastle TP.
Yeah, they just leave. They're just not interested. They don't have to fight.
And that was a 5-man, albeit leisurely, rotation top. That means no one on their team is farming efficiently. It's looking rough once again for Trent, with 20,000 gold difference between the Lifestealer and the Drow, 4,000 gold. Did I say 20,000? 2,000 gold is what I meant. 4,000 gold difference between the first division.
Fear and the stun straight into the Slardar, so he is now going to burn down to the Huskar and the Bedlam, but the Lich ult bouncing between the two. The grip from the Lich holds the Huskar in place long enough for that Lich ult to bounce back to him. And
just
another
the power of a hero who's been left to farm the entire game. Midas, Phase, Radiance, practically 200 gold off a Yasha. What can you do at this point?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And it's
and the rage is perfect, and the slow straight into the Nimbus 4-staffs the Lion, but burns down to that Radiance damage.
It's something I noted in the draft, is the tankiness of Newcastle's build up until they picked Zeus is just insane. Which means that the majority of their damage is the Zeus. If Trent can outlast this Zeus's peak power, which is currently rampant, they could come back into this. There's a lot of chance for them to get back, but it's just at the moment the Zeus is just picking them off. He can 3-shot any hero, 2-shot most of the supports. It's a rough day to be a support in this game.
Yeah, the
Zeus
problem
can do
is
it from
that
so far away too.
the problem is that at full health, Trent can probably fight through the bulk of the Newcastle damage, but with the Zeus, if the Zeus gets it all out quickly enough, it doesn't make a difference if he dies, because they don't have enough to last.
For me, sorry,
dude. I think my internet might be having a spaz. He's been forward from the Drow. He's caught out by the Centaur. And 3 heroes caught in the middle of that Nimbus, and Windrunner running away, but they're going to tear into the Drow. Forward comes the Lich ult, bouncing around in creeps, but it does manage to get over all the way to the Willow, and then they bring down the Wind Ranger as well.
Such a good initiation. They were caught by the trees. They jumped in. They got the big 3-man stun. The Willow tried to turn it. That was what caused them to clump up. The Willow throwing in her ulti, trying to her terrorize, trying to push them away, causing Trent to run forwards to try and make something of it, but they just have so much turn potential with both the Centaur Hoof Stomp and the Blink Crush on the Slardar.
Newcastle straight into Roche.
And this will go quick with the amplified damage, with the Radiance up. Ooh, Lifestealer choosing to do it before Midas in a creep.
Okay, yeah, it's a little bit of lack of efficiency there.
Who needs Midas, eh? But to be fair, at this point, being 6,000 gold, nearly twice the net worth of actually over twice the net worth of the Huskar.
They decided they can't quite do it quickly enough, maybe. They keep running in and out of it. They're pinging it out to try and get the team there, but in comes the Centaur, and Trent's going to try and contest this.
This is what I was saying with the
smoke.
Zeus.
The Trent must know they're going to try and come over and get into this pit, but can they fight it? I don't think they're going to get there in time. Lion has the blink, can go for this, but the Roche is going to go down now. Slardar scouts out the smoke. The Centaur is really low. They're going to try and get enough damage out into this Slardar. Don't get it. Now he goes down. Lifestealer running forward. Going to turn to go on the Lion instead. Just whacks him down. Now they start chasing at the Drow. Zeus 4, but he has no mana. And here comes the Huskar. Can't quite get in range. Lifestealer tries to go up onto the Willow, but gets gusted away by the Drow.
What a fight! So all over the place there. You know, Lifestealer choosing to target the Lion over Drow. The Drows, you know, their interesting positioning with the speed of reaction to the Slardar jumping in. It seemed a bit disconnected because the Slardar jumped forwards, they immediately silenced and controlled that, but by that point their Lion had already committed, you know, had already jumped full in, got a 2-man stun and was, team, where are you, you know, stuck there by himself trying to work out what to do, and, you know, due to that, in the retreat, got picked off. Yeah, they managed to trade for the Slardar, but
I mean,
still a tough trade.
Yeah, on the face of it, Lion for Slardar is a good trade, but when you consider they also picked up the Aegis for it too, then it becomes difficult. 8-1 on the Lifestealer now. Yeah, nearly just approaching 15k net worth, so a good 6k ahead of the Drow now.
Yeah, 4 and 7 on the Huskar. It's rough time to be a Huskar, and the Windrunner, this hero which they picked as a safety net, as a just a defensive stable lane to get levels, and presumably to be their tower push, their big split push hero, just hasn't been able to do anything.
15k up on net worth and gold now for the Newcastle side, and DOTA Plus now at 97%. So Shackle goes into the Lifestealer. Now the power shot going to go straight through him, but not a lot of damage given how tanky it is. It's going to rage off that Willow stun. A big wave bot going in for Trent, so someone will have to go back. They've got a triple ranged and got a cow bolt there, so if they can hold this off, they're going to get some damage in at the T2 for free.
And this is it. This is just slowly chipping in and just making the most of what you've got, because the Lifestealer has a radiant.
There for Lifestealer. They're now going to commit. Oh my god, the damage from that Zeusol! And the Windrunner's just killing herself to the Centaur. Just about managed to stay alive. The Lifestealer has gone down, but the Aegis brings him straight back up. Slardar trying to go full on onto the Drow. Does manage to bring the Willow down, but Drow has the damage to take him out for it. So still just a trade here. 2 supports for the offlaners on the Newcastle side, but Trent ready to go back in. Now there's a lot less damage from the Zeus with his ult gone. Huskar blink jumps straight forward, still in the middle of that. Oh my god, the Lich Ult just bouncing around doing so much damage, and Lifestealer just finishing him off.
Godlike spree now, you know, not much they can do against this Lifestealer. You know, with his inbuilt rage, they have nothing that really pierces the BKB. They have the Drow, and that's only the DPS from the Drow. They need to be able to control the Lifestealer, but the fact he went Manta means that any items or silence or anything like that they try to use on him, he can just dispel and rage.
Great shackle onto the Zeus. Now the Lifestealer can run over and start laying into the Windrunner. The stun is great from the Lion, but he gets caught by the grip of the Lich, and both of them go down for that.
But even with Lifestealer not being able to attack the Windrunner during her Windrunner, he was still stopping her attacking Zeus. So Zeus got stunned, got controlled, and just sat there. And as soon as it ended, he could dish out all his damage once again.
And done with top, they start heading straight into mid. Trent now trying to gather to try and defend this. They just get a 4-man fear off to send them running away from the base, but only going to buy them enough time for the Drow to respawn. Windrunner still going to be another 35 seconds, so Huskar a long way forward, but he just melts because of the magic damage from the Zeus, and the Lifestealer on top of him just brings him down. Great double stun from the Lion, but he gets run down by the Lifestealer as well.
The damage from that Lifestealer right click on the Lion, so much. 200 right click at 30 minutes into the game with amplified damage. Armor reduction of 15 on a Lion who has 3 armor. Minus 12 armor. 3 armor. I think at that point I would have picked up a casual chainmail or something, but he was just so poor.
Yeah.
He had to go the blink to try and get stuff done, but by the time he got the blink, the Lifestealer already had Radiance. So the blink wasn't as worthwhile.
Yeah, there comes the GG from the Huskar. I think Trent know that they've been squeezed out again. And yeah, down goes the throne.
Yeah, as we said at the beginning of this stream, these are the high level players in the UK. This is nothing to be ashamed of. Losing these 2 games, they were seriously good teams.
Yeah, this is it. These are, as I said before, we're in the top sort of 30 uni teams in the country at the minute. So there's no shame in going down at the minute. But I'll say it's very clinical. It's been very clinical from the 2 teams that Trent have played tonight to just absolutely they just used the map so much better than Trent did.
I think a lot of that was due to the matchups they chose in the laning stage. A lot of their laning stage was quite clunky. They seemed to make quite simply adjustable errors in the laning stage, running that tri-lane in both games, which caused them to sack the rest of the lanes, which then allowed the enemy first positions in both games just to become insanely overfarmed. And it was all in aid of just making sure that their core got something. And even when they did that, they got as much as the offlaner did, or something like that. It never seemed like a worthwhile trade.
Yeah, I don't ever think they quite got as much out of their safe lane as the other team did. They were always, even with the protection they were trying to put out. It was never worth it. They never made it quite be value there that they needed to get out of those lanes to get ahead the way their drafts wanted them to.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And I mean, they practically said we are going to be giving up our off lane by picking that Windrunner. It was we're going to pick a hero who will survive the lane, but will do nothing else. It is just there so we have a hero who can get lots of XP and try and participate in the game. Try to have that solo XP hero who can then do something later. But just so you have someone who can be in that lane.
I think there's you've got to have 2 ways of looking at how you can run a Windrunner in an off lane like that. If it's solo against the core, like you say, it's one of those where I'm in the lane, I'm going to get levels, and that's probably about it. But, decent right click, but not going to get massive amounts out of it. If you run against a duo, you try and trade with the support that's going to try and harass you out, because you've got decent right click, and then your 4 can rotate in, maybe pick up kills on the support, and that's how you get some farm onto that Windrunner. And because of the way that Trent had almost committed to those tri lanes in the safe lane both times, there was never any threat of that Windrunner being able to pick up kills that way. So no farm coming from the lane, no farm coming from kills. Where does your off lane get anything from? When you're looking to someone to try and make a play on something, you're then reliant on maybe your 4 or your mid. And unfortunately, the mids, both games, the mid was even enough matchup that it was 50-50 either way. So you've got no play coming from the off lane who has done their best out of it. But you've got 50-50 plays coming from the mid. Where are your plays coming from? Where's your chance to put your stamp on the match?
Yeah, I think they should have reassessed their position, their actual roles for each character. I think even with Drow being mid, I think they should have treated her as a first position, and they should have sacked the Huskar and made sure they had stacks for the Drow. If they'd sent one of their heroes to just stack the jungle between mid and bottom, mid and the off lane, just for the first 5 minutes, every minute, they would have had such a boost from the Drow that even how farmed the Lifestealer, would have seemed like an absolute joke. And then, because even if the Huskar had been behind or whatnot, they would have then been able to create space for Huskar to come back in.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right there. I think how much less would the Huskar have got without one of the supports there? Given he got what he could out of that lane. There were other times perhaps he could have been farming when instead trying to be aggressive. But you either need to go all in on that aggression, or you need to be getting the farm out of the lane where you can. And I don't think he'd have lost that much by losing a support into that to sacking that off lane, or even trying to help that Windrunner by picking up some harassment onto the Lifestealer. I don't think he'd have lost that much by doing that.
The thing is, what are you losing from sacking your safe lane with your Huskar? Your Huskar goes jungle, gets practically nothing. and sacks the lane. What is the center and what are the center and Slaughter going to do? The creep skip? Maybe, they might be able to creep skip, but then they're going to be having to take a ton of regen and some other stuff. They're not the kind of heroes who can just annihilate the tower if you're not there. It's not like you're, abandoning lane versus a Leshrac and a Pugna, or a Techies and a Drow or something like that. They're not going to just annihilate your tier 1. You have a bit of play with it, which means you could arguably leave a support there to sap XP, send your Husker elsewhere so he won't get dived on and just die, and or alternatively leave the Husker there to sap XP and go gank, go stack, go do all these other things. But I think it's just about assessing your lanes with Trent and knowing when to step back and reassess your strategy in the game.
Yeah, and we can, I do want to point out that, as we said, they've got stand-in for this evening. I believe John's playing on a limited setup, is how I'll describe it. But it's one of those where they've never quite certainly this season. I don't think they've quite stabilised who's playing and how often people are playing. So I think perhaps more stable lineup and steady picks, steady chances to get strategies going. Perhaps a couple of games would have gone very differently for them.
For sure.
But we will leave it there for this evening, guys, because so that's your 2 games. I'll be back on Tuesday night to do some more CS:GO because NTU Go have got some CS:GO Tuesday night in the Newell League. Again, we'll be back next Sunday for some more Dota. So if you're interested in either of those games in the slightest, obviously back. Yeah, thank you for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Gary, for helping me out.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're always welcome. Thank you. Well done, Maury, for winning the random follower giveaway. Sort out your channel. I'm going to bump Dobby's stream again because underneath the stream window there's a big picture of Dobby the House Elf's face. If you click on that, you can Dobby stream and watch all of this. Buys me all streams and stuff. And yeah, thank you everyone for watching. And we'll see you next time I stream.
Have a great night, guys.
Yeah. Catch you later.